Many people recollect heavy metal bands of the 80s when hear a word distortion, while the application of distortion like effects has been significantly enlarged at present. In my own tracks I always apply distortions as an artistic and creative effect over one instrument in the track, at least. And let's go a bit deeper here. Saying distortion, I mean such plugins as distortion, overdrive, fuzz, multiband overdrive or combo emulation. Namely the effects that distort the sound. And what does distortion mean in practice? For example, if we take a sine wave. And apply distortion over it as an insert. We notice that the peaks are getting changed, or namely limited. So putting it scientific, distortion means limiting and transforming a wave, sine wave in our case, into something similar to the mixture of square and saw waves. And what it brings us in practice. First, a pure sine wave is a signal that isn't enriched with harmonics. And when we apply distortion, we got a huge amount of harmonics that enrich our sine wave, making it more readable in the mix than a pure non-distorted one. Let's take a simple mix and adding distortion as a drum track insert. We're not only changing the timbre sound color of the instrument, but also make the instrument more readable. Besides, when using distortion, we may go even more creative. For example, using an outstanding D16 devastated multiband distortion. We may get the sound twisted seriously, and that's not only adding the harmonics but a dramatic transformation of the sound timbre itself. So it works out in a pretty creative way. If we will try quadrafuzz with the same instrument, we get a similar sound character, but the timbre will be completely different. First, because quadrafuzz is a multiband overdrive emulation, and the working algorithms of these two plugins are different. But in both cases we distort our signal to add a certain twist to it. And the third example I'd like to mention, it isn't exactly the case of distortion or overdrive, but that's an effect of adding a certain character to the initial sound. Let's listen to the vocals that we have.
You say you will, my man, my life, my future. You say
These three tracks are summoned up to the group track
your babe, your heart, and all the biggest
and then processed here with EQ, de-esse and certain guitar rig effects, namely chorus, delay and reverb.
And you can only, you say.
It sounds not that bad, but the issue for every sound engineer is to make it better than live. And I offer to use a warming effect that changes the sound character. A Color Tone Pro effect from Triton Digital. And what does it stand for? In the modal category, we may use different hardware emulations, for example, American compressors, LA2A, LA3A, British Neves, namely the impulses that we may use to color our sound.
You say you will, my man, my life, my future. You say I'm your babe, your heart and all the biggest things. Now you're gone and I feel like loser. You are a man and you can only.
And as you may see, we are getting pretty interesting results with the high frequencies. The sound becomes more transparent, and we have enriched the low frequency range through reduced the mid-range a bit. Please note that we won't get similar results with the standard EQ plugins.